There we go. Good morning, everyone, and welcome to another lovely Crosskeys match here on ZSR. This is going to be a round 4 match between dazedcloud and Teto. Your comms for today are Magnet and Clearmouse, with Daruk and Nerve doing tracking. And I'm going to give you to the comms because nobody really actually wants to listen to me. Comms, all yours.
Thanks, Touch. Good morning, Magnet. How's it going?
Good morning, Goddess of Eastern Palace. I am doing well. How are you doing today?
Oh, I am so excited. And so when I first saw this match, I was like, oh my gosh, this is Daze and Teto. We have two titans of Crosskeys, or Rando in general, from actually quite the international matchup, right? Dazed, and it's actually, I think, even pretty more amazing, the fact that Dazed is in Korea, Teto is in Germany. There is quite a bit of time zone difference between them, and they somehow managed to make, they managed to find a schedule, basically, to be able to face each other.
I'm glad that they made this work because we are about to have what we call a slobber knocker of a matchup. So
I like this word. Oh my gosh. Yeah, Daze, of course, is, probably this is probably his favorite mode. I don't know if I can really put that, words in his mouth, but certainly he plays this, very often. Very, very talented. Teto probably plays a bit more variety, I would say, than Daze. He has, quite the rando resume and repertoire. Crosskeys certainly is one of those. Mostly he's been playing more and more, so I'm certainly very interested in seeing this matchup.
Yeah, this is going to be a great matchup. Teto, known for doing his thing. I'm glad that he has started Crosskeys and that he's in this tournament. Dazed, he's going to be doing his thing as well. So we're going to have a great morning and a great start.
Oh yeah, right. And so this is actually a 2-1 matchup. This, is part of Crosskeys. This is week 4, and they are both playing. They both won 2 matches, lost 1 match. That's how they fortunately got paired up with each other, and it's going to be quite the treat for us. Yeah, I already see our kind of trackers, speculating what may have happened. We got Daruk and Nervin on tracking, 2 of probably some of the best trackers we have here. Also coming from Germany, really cool to basically see them in action as well. Certainly looks like they got a little bit more insight maybe on Tato's routing tendencies and decision. We already have flippers in Link's house. Interesting.
Oh wow, no Houlihan for him.
yeah, that's actually very interesting. In fact, I don't even know if some people would even, once they see it, especially so early, they just basically reset exactly as you said, right? Once you get the flippers, it's kind of more difficult to Houlihan easily.
Yeah, you'd have to wait till you get the glove if you want to Houlihan at that point for him, but we'll see if he does it. He might not even do it. And we have a lamp on the ledge.
Amazing. How often do you get to see a lamp basically like check number 2 in Crosskeys? Like, makes me really suspicious now of these dark rooms.
That is a godsend because lamp logic likes to be screwy sometimes, so it's kind of good to see the lamp this early.
Oh yeah, and right. I mean, not only, of course, we're going to be able to see without a weapon, really, to kind of even guide the way, right? Going to be a little bit more time in the dark rooms, but also we've got a fire source, potentially, that could make a difference.
Yeah, that early fire source, that could be very interesting going down the line.
Yeah, and right, and so it looks like actually we also have different starting points. Teto, I don't know if this is like his typical opening route to start at Link's house. We also did see Daze start at Sanctuary. Pops us right out of the pyramid, by the way. So we already had, in this case, right, well, that's where we found the lamp. And looks like actually small key to GT, according to our trackers. And so we already have some potential early Dark World access. Pyramid of Sanctuary is actually kind of interesting in that sometimes you have to go through, some shenanigans in order to get to like the top of the pyramid, in order to kind of access those 3 entrances, atop of Hyrule Castle. But this actually makes it a little bit nicer if we can just go find like a mirror or something, and then we basically just right on top.
Oh, this if an early mirror shows up, this is going to be perfect with the Sank route.
All right, so okay, more drop downs. Looks like we've got a Lost Woods and a Mystery Key, so presumably Tato's gonna go back and go get that. And looks like Daze. Oh man, yeah. So this is where the fun comes in. What do you think, Magnet? So okay, so what do you like to do? You finally made your way over to Kakariko. You've got 15 entrances here to check, and you find yourself a couple of connectors. What do you do?
This position, I think I think the CAC play is a good play. I mean, he hasn't Houlihan. You kind of want to see what the rest of the entrances are here. You might have, well, there goes the old lady connector. I was going to say, you may see more connectors, so you kind of want to get a lay of the land this early to see what you have going on, and then you always know you can go up the mountain like once this is done, so...
All right, yeah, that's actually a very, very good point. Yeah, kind of basically just do a breadth first search, you know, kind of in this case to see, you know, and chances are, you know, most of the connectors are going to be, I don't know, you know, like, yeah, these single, you know, item, single houses, single item locations, maybe to get you a couple more resources before kind of taking, you know, a connector. Yeah.
Yeah.
It looks like actually, yeah.
Oh, no, I was going to say, it's interesting, this scenario as well, because Daze also hasn't Houlihan, so I don't know if he regularly Houlihans or not, or, you know, he's just mixing it up. But because of the non-Houlihan, I definitely like this play to continue on with Kakariko.
Yeah, alright, so just a little bit more of a recap. It looks like actually Teto found Ganon at the like the back of escape entrance, so it should be pretty easily accessible for us. Daze also looks like he found Mini Moldorm Cave, and unfortunately, that lamp is not going to help anyone. He's only got 4 bombs to his name. I think it could be done / doable, but you kind of really want you have to get pretty lucky, I think, with those bomb throws in order to kind of get to the back.
Yeah, I second that notion, because those mini Moldorms do not like to play nice. You can do it with 4 bombs, but sometimes they slobber knocker you and they just wiggle out the way.
Exactly. Yeah, you kind of need, like, the mini Moldorms to actually, like, run into the bombs. Like, it's very, very... Yeah, I mean, that's why people, you know, even the best runners, by the way, you know, cannot sometimes outmaneuver enemy RNG.
Yeah. That's interesting. He's doing this in the dark. He didn't go grab his lamp. I thought he would have grabbed his lamp.
It looks like Teto has not saved and quit yet. He is still following the route from Link's house. So
okay.
So it looks like, you know, I think he also did find, like, he found a Hyrule Castle connector that did have, in this case, like, some route to the Dark World, but yeah, he definitely hasn't started a Sanctuary, gotten his GT small key, and more importantly, he's gotten that lamp. But looks like Teto, you know, of course, you know, I certainly would expect nothing less, you know, between Teto and Daze to be able to do kind of these dark rooms. You know, Teto did a very nice job being able to rescue the old man. dazedcloud looks like, you know, he's dropping down a lumberjack. 3 bombs, by the way, at this point, even though it could be a, you know, an item that most people probably, you know, kind of wouldn't care so much about. Early game, especially, when, you know, when maybe we even have, like, a mini Moldorm cave, those extra 3 bombs are really going to help out. Oh, jeez.
Yeah. Look.
Oh my gosh, yeah. Alright, second GT small key. Interesting.
Oh, GT's looking very spicy.
Oh,
there's that mirror.
Oh, alright, so Dazed is actually stumbled upon a, you know, at least a really, really nice early game route. Being able to find, of course, the lamp and the mirror, 2, you know, very, very nice items to be able to have. Now, of course, Teto, you know, has actually done quite a bit of exploring. He has actually made his way up to Death Mountain. Oh man, unfortunately, he would also probably like some bombs, but not enough money in order to buy anything. A lot of connectors here certainly could actually get quite, you know, his benefits in order to be able to explore all these entrances.
I like this play continued by Daze. He's gonna check to see, I guess, where the rest of the drop downs are, get a free item here, and Lost Woods.
Right, yeah. And yeah, so we already know, at least on Teto's side, that Ganon is, you know, just at the back of Escape, the Sanctuary entrance. So at this point, I'm just gonna assume that Teto's gonna, you know, blind drop down to everything. Daze may not have, you know, that precaution yet. You can see how starved we are, by the way, for resources, because Daze is also picking up even like that, you know, random red 20 rupees at the mushroom spot. You normally don't see that.
This is true.
Yeah.
when you're broke, you're broke. You gotta pick it up.
Yeah. All right. Teto found Laser Bridge, by the way. So right, 100% not in logic. You know, there is no such thing as advanced logic and Crosskeys. You are gonna need the mirror shield or some sort of invincibility item in order to get across. Or of course, yeah. So, but but again, you watch Teto, you watch Daze do this. They've done their boostless laser skips, through and through. Gonna be able to get 4 items here.
Yeah, this will be easy for Teto. We'll grab this last item and then he'll head on out of here to check the rest of the mountain.
Yeah.
What does this old man have for us today?
Oh, all right. Well, forget about maybe forget about the old man, your uncle, right? Apparently he's just hiding his treasure trove of a lot of money. So forget about the hula handing. That is that basically is our at least basis for the time being.
A treasure map in his life savings. Oh man.
Yeah, he's like, here's a treasure map to my life savings right next door.
Ooh, Ice Rod Cave.
Again, at this point, you're just never gonna complain about more resources. I mean, so yeah, right. So we did see in this case, there's still many Muldrum Cave in left at Kakariko. Daze is probably not gonna go back. Maybe at this point, maybe he just wants to continue on his routing, and maybe just eventually go back for that 5-item cave.
Yeah, it'll be interesting what he does here. Oh yeah, and is he doing exactly what you suggested or said? I should say, he's going back.
Oh yeah, okay.
Makes sense.
Alright, looks like though Teto finally has ended his route, doesn't really have too much more to do. Has eventually finally started saying, so he can pick up his mirror, or not his mirror, getting ahead of myself. He's gonna pick up his lamp, and then hopefully in this case, he is also gonna go eventually make his way over to Kakariko, go get his mirror, and then, he is going to be able to, in this case, go, basically, do a lot of stuff he already did in Dark World. You see, in this case, Daze really wish he had some sort of weapon to express his opinion about what the bottle vendor had for him.
Instead, the bottle vendor is going to get the lovely royal hand of the princess.
That's right.
Getting slapped.
It's like, oh my gosh, dude, good thing Daze came back. All right, so we got a glove from the bottle vendor, as you said, like a dueling glove. We got a hammer from Mini Muldrum Cave. A couple of nice keys to have as well.
Looking like we're gonna get an early Dark World starter kit. Wherever this Moon Pearl will be residing, this will be good for Dazed.
Oh yeah, right. I mean, right, and especially 10 minutes into, this Crosskeys. Look at all the stuff we already have, accessible to us. Tato's gonna be, getting all of these items, very shortly, but, we've got a mirror in Hype Cave, which is, of course, located in Kakariko. We've got a glove from the bottle vendor. One of those kind of unfortunate consequences, I guess, of not being able to hula hand because we had early flippers. We also have a hammer. I mean, yeah, how often are you just looking for a Moon Pearl for traditional Dark World access, so early?
I'm willing to say that this Moon Pearl is going to be very generous today.
That is very optimistic of you, Magnet. I hope the game feels similarly.
We are going to see. Hopefully, it's not in Eastern because that will just.
Since we're both here, I wouldn't complain necessarily if we see an early Eastern Palace dip. I can certainly though understand if these runners don't necessarily want to go in quite yet.
Well, we'll see. I won't say too much more about that. You kind of know how I feel about that dungeon.
we've got different schools of thought, and only one of them is correct. So just saying.
We're going here. The right one is to leave, unless you have a bow and a big key.
We will see. We will see. Maybe this problem won't even come up. We haven't found Eastern Palace yet. We haven't found Eastern Big Key yet. We haven't found a bow yet. Actually, speaking of, we do have a really nice hammer. To be able to do, some temper sword damage, permanent melee. However, though, not really much else in terms of offense, right?
Yeah, not just yet, but that hammer will do these runners some justice. They're pretty skilled with the hammer.
Yeah, actually, right. And actually, we see Daze here in Mimic Cave. Teto actually found this earlier, but unfortunately he didn't have the hammer, so he has to actually come back for this. Oh my gosh, is that third GT small key
Whoa.
on Daze's side?
I smell a hook shot incoming.
Oh my gosh.
Where you be?
Yeah, not often you get to see so many GT small keys. I mean, so like if the GT big key comes up soon, we're gonna be pretty suspicious.
Oh yeah, that's very suspicious. Spicy.
Yeah, because you definitely know you want to climb, right? With this type of loadout. I mean, we don't have a bow yet, so probably not gonna be too big of a deal. But yeah, but if these things start showing up,
yeah. If those things start showing up, we're gonna have an interesting chain of events. I feel like to climb or not to climb. I would normally climb if I had the things to climb it. Get it out the way, get more checks, and you get to get into the back of Sank at this point. But we'll see what happens. Oh wow, we have a cruel suggestion. Merle at the top of GT. Anyone?
No. Let's not think about such thoughts. It's so late for Daze. He probably just wants this the seed to be done as fast as possible. Although I will say, from a spectator's perspective, right?
Yeah.
Moon Pro Go mode is always going to be kind of one of those really interesting things.
Yeah. It's definitely one of the more interesting things in Crosskeys to have a Moon Pro 4 Go mode.
Did Teto just
I haven't seen it in a
chest?
while. Okay, that was the mirror.
Yeah, I was like, I guess maybe he's just skipping it for dramatic effect, maybe. It's not really an item you kind of want to leave behind.
No, not for this particular route today. You'll be able to combine both. Once you do find the Moon Pearl, you'll be able to combine both East Dark World and East Light World together.
All right, looks like we've got some frequent viewers of Teto pointing out that this is apparently Teto's normal strategy.
See, this is nice flavor to know.
Exactly. Oh, you know what? Forget the mirror in order to kind of get up here to the top of the pyramid, because we apparently have found a connector up here.
Nice. What connector was that, by the way? I happened to.
Oh no, I unfortunately didn't quite catch it. But hopefully Teto will, eventually go back. He will have to come back here eventually, just because right now, we don't have, in this case, Master Sword or a cape in order to get into the center entrance. We are still kind of poor, I guess, in that regard. Finding Hookshot Cave, though, is always going to be a really nice connector, also for, pretty easy items. Once we, start getting, getting a hookshot, we did find another connector to the Mire area. One thing, actually, while Teto is kind of going off on his, own adventures, where basically he is just following, connectors, leading him all across the world. Unfortunately, so he hasn't actually, kind of gone over to the Lost Woods area, or sorry, not Lost Woods, the Lumberjack area. That's where Daze found, our good friend, the uncle, with his treasure map, pointing basically right next door for the 300 rupees. Unfortunately, Teto, even though he got back to Kakariko, he doesn't have enough money in order to actually afford the glove from the bottle vendor. So hopefully in this case, the glove doesn't kind of punish him too much.
Yeah,
you know what? Yeah, right, but in this case, Teto found Paradox. That's also pretty pretty nice. I think just enough bombs in order to get through and buy some more bombs for Paradox.
Yeah.
In order to clear it out.
I am liking this beginning already. It's so much divergence.
Oh yeah, no, this is great. This is actually the great part about Crosskeys, right? Is that especially in this case, you just make one different, little decision early on, and then suddenly, you've got two very, very vastly different routes.
They'll eventually high five each other,
Oh my gosh, so many things. Yeah, this mirror is really helping out. Both in this case, Daze and Teto. Especially in this case because, again, Teto doesn't have the gloves, right? So, because he has the mirror, though, and he's over here in the Mire area, he can actually, kind of get through to that entrance. Unfortunately, still, though, that glove, he's gonna have to come back to, Checkerboard Cave in order to check that entrance. But the mirror, Teto, in this case, he's trying to get, I don't even know what he is. Super fluffy thing with hat. State in order to, who cares about the Moon Pearl? We can basically just glitch our way through in order to get an item.
That was a nice glitch. He got it on the second try. That looks like a Pokemon, by the way. I forget the name, where it basically has the disc on top of his head, and it knows Seed Dish as a ability. I think it evolves into like Ludicolo down the line.
Okay, you are going to be the Pokemon expert between the two of us, Mac.
I'm not so much of an expert. I can't remember the unevolution.
Lotad? Does that sound right?
Lotad, right? Yeah, that's what it is. It's Lotad. It's
Yo,
Lotad.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you guys. Yeah, it's Lotad and Lombre.
Alright, Daze looks like he has found his way over to the race game, but he already scouted it out. It was a heart piece, so he says no thank you. Meanwhile, Teto, though, kind of explore the rest of the connectors. Yep, and he is doing exactly, kind of what he should be doing. He has, in this case, exactly the right number of bombs, or just enough bombs, and just enough money in order to be able to bomb open this shop door, and then buy some more. Hopefully he's gonna get enough money, out of basically the 7 checks here, so he can at least explore the bottle vendor.
Yeah, that bottle vendor hiding that handy glove. That's
handy glove. I see what you did there. Oh, so that's interesting. So Teto found a big key to Hera. I believe Teto hasn't found Hera yet, but I think it was me on Day's side. That is going to be, something that in this case they can actually climb the tower for. Oh, there's a bow. Also in Paradox.
May have no words now.
That bow is, I don't know. So the bow is kind of like one piece, right? So obviously we did kind of allude to Eastern Palace being a thing. Right, now we already have 3 total GT smalls. If that GT big shows up, it's going to be quite the interesting climb.
Yeah, I agree. This is looking very fast. Like, all these items are just... they're finding their way to these runners very quickly.
Alright, so it looks like actually Teto found... He's just following connectors everywhere he goes, right? And sometimes he's actually stumbling upon some pretty nice places. We got C-Shape House for another heart container. Never gonna turn down early health, especially with that mirror. But in this case, so he found Blind's Hut. One of those really not so fun places to find, I think, as a bunny without the pearl. He's gonna choose this mirror glitch and trying to get his super bunny state. He's gonna be able to get the 4 chests in the front, but unfortunately he's not gonna be able to lay down that bomb in order to get to the one in the back, which he is gonna have to still come back eventually for it.
Yeah, these are one of... I don't know. Blind's Hut is so weird because I know from my... oh my goodness.
Oh wow, we have silvers already.
And
a
sword.
Yeah. Oh, and money. Holy cow. That is amazing.
Wow. I'm about to rescind everything I was getting ready to say. But that was a crazy Blind's Hut. It's one of those weird things where it's like you would want the Moon Pearl for that, and Dark Shopping Mall is such a weird place to get back to unless you force yourself to go back. So it's like, hopefully that chest in the back isn't anything important.
Right, yeah. Right, and of course, keep in mind, the game is never going to expect you to do any of these, kind of like minor glitches in order to use the mirror and kind of force your way into like a Super Bunny state. And right, as a Super Bunny, you can open chests, you can move blocks and stuff like that, but you cannot use items still. And so that's why, unfortunately, Teto kind of has to abandon that one item location. But yeah, all the stuff that Teto found though in Blind's Hut, the sword, technically, I guess like the other bow is not in logic right now without that pearl.
He can fight now. He is more than well.
Yeah. Oh heck yeah. We're never gonna turn down. Yeah, logic is again a suggestion. You can see in this case, especially for Crosskeys, if you kind of play the game, as the game's logic intended you to be, we're gonna be here for the next 4 hours, and so to kind of cut down on some of that time, certainly would not necessarily complain about just shortcutting some of the things.
Ooh,
alright. Speaking of though, that is in logic, that Bombos medallion, since we did get the flippers very, very early. And finally, with that sequence broken sword, we're actually going to be able to use that Bombos.
You know what's suspicious? Once Teto gets his glove, and whenever Ice Palace is found...
Oh my, I was actually even thinking that exactly too. I was like, well, we haven't really found Ice Palace. We haven't found Ice Palace, the dungeon yet. But early on, we found the big key to Ice Palace, and we found a small key. Suddenly, key-wise, Ice Palace is looking pretty accessible. We already have an early hammer, but yeah, once we have a glove, I'm wondering, and especially with bombos, like, I don't know, I assume you're going in? Not quite the most, friendliest places in order to be inside for Ice Palace, but, the game doesn't necessarily, give you, like, an easy mode in this thing.
Yeah, I second that notion. There's no easy modes to this cruel mode at times.
Oh.
It might force you to do Vidi early on Fighter Sword.
Mm-hmm.
It might force you to do Swordless. The game doesn't care.
Yeah. Although maybe, at least the game at least gave us early silvers. So, Vitreous hopefully won't be too big of a deal. But of course, that also assumes that we can actually find some arrows. Silvers don't do much unless you actually have a quiver full of, of arrows in this case.
Turtle Rock small.
Yeah, right, and also, again, we're still kind of in, not necessarily poverty, but we're working our way up the financial ladder. But unfortunately, we still can't afford Zora at this moment.
This is a nice mountain starting point.
Oh yeah, that's true.
I like this.
Yeah, this is gonna be really nice. Again, early mirror is gonna make this, very, very well. Teto needs to survive first. But yeah, I don't think Tato's actually been over here in the light world either, so it's gonna be very convenient. Oh man, speaking of, we already have in this case the first, we found Castle Tower. Tato's gonna be, again, sequence breaking, his way into the tower, gonna basically do a dungeon revival. If you end up dying as a bunny, in a dungeon, doesn't matter, if you have the pearl or not, you're always gonna revive in your normal Link form.
It's always nice when you do one of these bunny revivals and you get something like really crazy, like the boots.
Oh, that would be awesome! Oh my gosh. I like your optimism here. Oh my gosh, though. Well, we were hoping, for some more arrows, but I think that's more of an insult to us with the silvers.
They gave him 1 arrow.
I know.
At least gave him 10.
Mm-hmm.
Let's see what. Oh, he's gonna do what I like to call my favorite play, Wild Boy play #1.
Oh, this is Teto really, being adventurous here.
Oh yeah, this is very, very adventurous. I'm liking. Oh man, I don't know if you can hear the excitement in my voice clearly.
Oh no, this sounds super. You really sound excited here, Magnet. I mean, this is really cool. This is exactly what we like to see too, right? Being, Teto being very creative and adventurous in his decisions.
Change times, be nice.
Yeah. Oh my gosh.
Here's our move, bro.
Yeah. So right, we kind of have two different, I would say, approaches so far. Whether or not this is kind of intentional, we probably asked Days versus Teto. Oh my gosh, though, that Cane of Samaria, so nice to be able to have. So actually, with that cane, Tato's gonna be able to make his way over further in Turtle Rock. But that's actually quite the logical chain.
Yeah, indeed.
Yeah, but I was gonna say, Days seems to kind of be, more or less sticking to, logical choices, right? He'll sequence break out stuff when he needs to in order to be more efficient. But he seems to be kind of like chasing. He was really trying to find, the Moon Pearl, right? Teto is just wandering the world. He's like a free spirit, right? Going into Skullwood's probably, one of those things where, if you have the Moon Pearl, everything's in logic, but right now he doesn't know where that is. So he is really just gonna be able to try and get whatever he can.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see how, either how soon or how long it may take to get to that Moon Pearl, because it's one of the #1 goals, at least for me, right? I'd say, and this is just coming from a different standpoint. I'll try to find the moon pearl as quick as possible because it makes everything so much like easier to route in or to do. Like in Day's case, like once he knows where the mountain connector is, he'll have a whole route of Dark World access to cover, and it's gonna be like easy peasy.
Yeah, right. And even though in this case, like Teto, again, he's getting his Super Bunny state, doing his, dungeon revivals, so he's not really, really precluding himself for getting, all of the progression in these dungeons.
Right.
But again, you said that if you have the Moon Pearl, you don't have to do all these things. You basically just go straight on through, right? And so these little things can add up, on Teto's side in terms of time.
Yeah, we'll see. It's not one of those things where it's like it can hurt you too bad, but it just depends.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Oh my gosh, though. So where's
flute in my favorite dungeon?
Oh my gosh, Magnet. It's too early in the morning for this. All right. Well, by the way, so Teto also found a small key to Hera. I know that some people, basically don't think that Hera basement exists in Crosskeys, but in this case, we have a complete repertoire for Tower of Hera. We've got the big key, we've got the small key, we have a fire source for that lamp. Gonna be pretty. Of course, from Teto's perspective, that small key is not in logic. We know, of course, in this case where the Moon Pearl is, which it is. So technically, it's a free for all to be able to claim everything here in Hera.
Yeah, that'll be interesting to see what's in Hera basement because we have Days doing Hera now, and I'm pretty sure once he finds that Tower of Hera basement key, the small key, he's not coming back here for a long time.
Yeah, exactly right. I mean, think about Hera basement. It's one check. Of course, it still could be a very important check, but again, you have to come back here, sit through the basement, and it's like at least like an minute, is worth of your time, right? You probably can be doing other things.
Yeah, I'm also going to be optimistic about that chest, though. It can't be nothing down here.
We all hope. In this case, it's nothing. Yeah. All right. So Days also found, by the way, Ether medallion in Hera. Could also be, of course, he doesn't have a sword. He doesn't have the Sequence Broken Sword. That Teto found that was in Blind's hut. Hopefully, he'll eventually make his way over there. But it certainly could be in this case something useful. We haven't seen in this case what the entry medallion requirement for Turtle Rock is. So that still at least could be Ether. I believe in this case Meyer was looks like actually marked on trackers, right, is Quake, so not going to be super useful there.
Yeah, hopefully we don't have a double Quake scenario because something that likes to happen.
Yeah. Oh man! All right, swordless hammer fight on Moldorm's on Day's Cloud side. Easy peasy. Moldorm was very cooperative.
And it's a crystal. Well, I forgot to look at the top left.
I mean, but like amazing. It's like oftentimes when you get all of the stuff that you need to clear out a dungeon, it's just like 90%. Just write it off as a pendant and move on, right? But we're pretty happy in this case. First crystal down at the 30-minute mark.
Yeah, you love to see it. Aw, snap.
Yeah, all right. Teto finally made his way over to Uncle. He is going to, finally get, the rest of his inheritance. Actually, pretty nice one at that. Again though, like, and this is just kind of unfortunate, sequencing, on Teto's side. It's just like the more in this case that he's doing, there are gonna be like 1 to 2, kind of like checks that he would like to go back to, but he just didn't quite have the right amount of either like equipment or money in order to basically do it the first time, right? Like for example, he has Zora money now, but he's already kind of been over to the Zora area, right? So if you want to go back to Zora, it's still kind of a bit of a hike. There is the checkerboard entrance, for him in the Desert Palace area. He wasn't there over there when he, I guess, like has a glove. He still has a glove now, but it's going to be one of those kind of like isolated entrances.
I think for Teto, right? What'll happen in that scenario? Because you brought an interesting point, and he'll go to his glove because he's going to activate the flute, and once he activates that, he'll be able to pair Zora if he chooses to with Catfish, and that could be something that will be down the line.
Yeah, that could be. That is true. Right. So, it's not like Teto does, it's not like they're hard isolated. That's certainly a very good point. But it's kind of like just like one of those things, again, is like my to-do list of things that I should go back to or need to go back to is like slightly, it's just like growing, right? And it's not one of those things that you, in this case, want to, you want to check things off the list as opposed to keep adding things to it.
Yeah, I totally agree with that, because it can pile up, I think, in between like the mid game and the end game when you're looking for those one-offs where you might be hunting for something for hopefully not as long as you can in Crosskeys.
Right. All right, finally
get his cane. Oh, I'm sorry.
No. I was actually just to say, I think we're just thinking about the same thing. Was that Dazed is actually here in Logic with that pearl that he got from Chain Chomps in Turtle Rock. So you can certainly see him. Yeah.
Boy, I love the man. He is going for it. He took that key and went in the back.
This is really great to see.
Oh man.
I mean, and I think this is, something reasonable too that people do, right? You know that there are going to be 3 items here in the back of Escape. And it's going to be a little bit quicker in order to be able to get. And of course, right, keep in mind that, we still, in this case, need the Hyrule Castle small key to kind of put these things in logic. But unfortunately, just 2 heart pieces and a Skullwood small. Probably not hoping, in this case, that the thing that Teto was kind of hoping for.
Oh man, that stingy Skullwoods key. You don't even need it. I don't know why that key would be back there. That key, and I'm not saying for him, I'm just saying the game being cruel. Like
exactly, yeah. It has interesting, like, logical implications, I guess, right? For example, you do need all 3 Skullwood small keys, to put, Mothia in logic, but again, suggestion. If we're gonna be able to clear out Mothula, especially find out that we do see on Dazed's side that we have a map to Skullwoods, it is a crystal. Who cares in this case about the logic? We're just gonna be Mothula if we can.
Those are the rules I live by. That big chest.
Yeah, I mean, Dazed is doing very well, by the way, for being swordless and swordless, bootsless. I mean, like, sometimes, these bomb jump setups, really kind of, you're so used to having some sort of, like, weapon, right? A sword predominantly. And so to be able to kind of set these up swordless, I think is pretty nice.
Yeah.
Dazed finding his, Hera small key, he's like, but I was just there.
Okay, yeah, he's going back. Probably going to activate his flute.
Yeah, that actually makes a lot of sense. He just got the flute, we just basically took a mirror portal over to the light world. And of course, a flute, especially in Crosskeys, can certainly make your overworld travel. I mean, in general, it makes your overworld travel, very nice in the light world. Kind of depending on where you want to go in the light world as well, or maybe you want to, go to the dark world via some connectors. It's certainly going to be very helpful. Though. I can't remember. This is like first, like, not Skullwoods dungeon, but Teto did find the front of Thieves Town, so going to be able to get 4 items here.
Let's see what our lovely thieves are hiding in the front for today.
Yeah. Okay, Magnet, if you find the Thieves Town big key here in the front of Thieves Town, are you going back?
No, I'm out.
You're out? Okay.
I'm out. Yeah, I'm out. I am out. I typically would like to see the small key, the thieves. And it was a weird seed I had earlier in the week where they had the Thieves Town small key hiding on a mountain, and that led to the big chest moon pearl, and that was very gross.
That sounds pretty awful.
So I forget who taught me that. I want to say it was Allison taught me that. Like, he typically doesn't, like, go in unless you have everything. But, it just depends on the seed. It's not like a for sure thing. But I would definitely leave.
Yeah, no, I think that's also like a very, very reasonable point, right? It's we're not even 40 minutes in, still probably considered to be early game, maybe early to mid-early game. No reason to kind of take an unnecessary risk, at that point, right? Maybe towards the later of the game, right? You're like, you know what? I haven't seen that Thieves Down Smoky show up for this long. I'm just gonna go back and do it, right?
Right. Like around that point, if you're clearing crystals and you don't have it, it's just like, okay, let's get this show on the road.
Yeah. Right. All right. So, also, Daze actually has stumbled upon his Hyrule Castle small key. So, even though we just see in this case, Tato's kind of steal the key from the guard and basically make his way to the back of the escape. Daze is actually going to be able to confidently clear out both the front and the back of the escape.
Yeah, this will be nice. We'll see what's downstairs.
Again, Teto, again, he's doing wonders with this mirror that, we both saw, very early. Finally got his glove, activating his flute. But again, like, he, probably his next major priority is, in this case, to go into Turtle Rock and go get his pearl.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like with the flute, it gives you a lot of options to check some of the areas that you normally wouldn't want to walk to. So it might put him closer to his flute.
Yeah, potentially he could...
excuse me, Moon Pearl, sorry.
Right, yeah. And actually, right, and, and with that Moon Pearl, with the flute, with the glove, right, like, he might want to maybe visit, the Dark Shopping Mall, Light World Shopping Mall area. Just because in this case, like, he kind of stumbled his way over there via connector. We had to kind of leave some of the stuff behind because he didn't have, a pearl or a glove for that matter.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're gonna get a couple more checks here on Daze's side. This is stuff that isn't now in logic. Okay, well...
We'll see what that key does.
Yeah, I mean, it's not one of those keys that you kind of like, necessarily want. However, if it is going to show up, you'd definitely rather have it show up early rather than later. We haven't found Swamp Palace, we haven't been able to find our way into there, but, you never want to go into Swamp Palace, clear it out, and then see the skull with the Swamp Palace big key, and then be like, I don't want to go back there.
Yeah.
So this is actually interesting as well. Teto has found his way to the back of Skull Woods, and he now knows it's a crystal. We might actually be seeing some more sequence breaking here on Teto's side in order to get to Mopula. It's going to be quite the treat. Look at him! Look at him using that Bombos medallion, to his advantage. All these Gyptos are going to just burn to a crisp.
Obliterated.
Alright, yeah, so it looks like Tato's just kind of waiting out the hand. He doesn't want to get grabbed and gone to the back. And, who needs a fire rod? We've got a lamp. It's just as good. And we got ourselves a couple of bombs in order to get over that gap. Easy peasy, 4 torches lit.
I want to say something. I'm stealing that strat from Teto because I do that bomb jump, but I tend to, what's the word? I think he has to, no, he's good. I thought he might have had to Death Warp again. But going all the way to the right is safer instead of trying to fit right in between the gap and the torch. Sometimes I fall in between the gap and the torch, so I'm going to say this immediately. Thank you, Teto, for this, because now we have a surefire way of making sure we don't fall.
Yeah, no, both Teto and Daze are very, very talented, especially when Teto is taking on Mothula with the fighter sword and just a hammer. Pretty precarious fight, but I mean, like, these guys are, obviously, like, very, very good at this game. Teto, please survive, though. Oh my gosh. This is a very difficult fight.
Oh yeah, this is, it's one of the worst.
Oh no, Teto! Oh my god! Oh my gosh!
There we go.
Nice. Oh phew! Yeah, clutch it out at the very, very end. You can actually see in this case, right? The longer the moth fight goes, right? The more spikes are coming at you. It's really a situation where you don't really want to be. But Teto kept his cool the entire time. Was able to secure his first crystal.
He is cool as a cucumber. Cooler than the other side of the pillow.
Yeah, that's
way to handle that fight. And we got Daze checking his Hyrule connectors. Oh, the fairy connector there.
Yeah, right. I think we in this case thought Daze take this like from the other side, right? Teto got kind of, I don't know, quote unquote luckier. Because he was able to take the good way, basically just take a straight drop down, from Fairy Ascension versus climbing the entire thing up.
All right, Teto opening up the dam. Red Boomerang being very finicky on Daze's side. Oh, and he gets to see Castle Tower.
Yeah, he gets to see Castle Tower the logical way. And again, Tato's made quite a lot of progress for himself. Without the pearl, right? Like going for so long.
He's about to get his pearl. He's definitely here. I like it because you know what this does, right? This gives him his pearl, and he gets to have a nice. How could I say it? A nice route to continue with.
Oh yeah. Right, and I think though he knows in this case that there has to be another Turtle Rock entrance, for him in order to actually get to Chomps in this case, because he used in this case the Cane of Samaria in order to get to like the big chest and then make his way over here, right? But of course we know that the Cane of Samaria, it was in Skull Woods and it was pearl locked. So like the fact that he's gonna find the pearl here, right? He's gonna at least tell him that there has to be something else. But I don't know at this point he's even gonna care about that particular piece of logic.
Yeah, we'll see. Because I definitely agree. I think it's one of those things where you're like, okay, I got the Moon Pearl, so everything is in logic that I found that it's out of logic. So it'll be interesting to see what he does next from here.
Yeah, these Chomps though, by the way, not quite cooperating, but at least Teto didn't take any damage. Looks like though he's willing to at least spend a couple of his keys going all the way to the front.
I like it.
Yeah, and of course, right in Crosskeys, like, key logic for Turtle Rock is very interesting, but the fact that there are just so many, different connectors that you could take, chances are you can probably, especially with this many Turtle Rock keys, right, you can probably afford to spend one here and there. Good job, Daze! I'm so proud of you!
Oh my goodness, hold on. Look at
the
you know what? Here we go. Well,
here we go.
Here. The way Eastern is set up, right? Okay. The way Eastern is set up, he might find the big key to Eastern and Eastern. It might happen.
I imagine, actually, finding, in this case, some value here at Eastern Palace.
Alright, I'm the #1 disciple of Zelda of leaving, alright, this place. And I will rep it.
Yeah, the last Crosskeys match, I believe actually had the mirror inside Eastern Palace, so just saying.
It did, but that mirror didn't really do too much. It was a small key that was glove locked that kind of wrecked me, and then Zelda just wrecked me because he wrecks everybody.
Alright, well, so far, in this case, the first two chests of Eastern Palace has not borne, much in the way of progression, so looks like in this case, at least Daze is going to give us the two remaining checks. We do have, in this case, the Compass chest coming up, and the Vanilla Big Key chest, which of course is in logic with that lamp.
Right. Yeah, it's definitely an interesting play, I think, because of all 4 chests being in logic. Like, it's one of those things where it's like, skipping it can be bad, and sometimes not skipping it, skipping it can be bad sometimes, and then sometimes skipping it, you're like, okay, I'm doing myself a service. But you never really know in Crosskeys, because sometimes Eastern Palace can just be fully loaded.
Yep. This is definitely very true. And honestly, like Daze's route actually has worked out very, very well for him. I mean, just in general, right? He was, in this case, was very fortunate with some of his early sequencing, being able to not leave too many loose ends behind. So, I mean, whether or not he actually feels, great or not great about, in this case, his route, I don't think he would necessarily mind, sparing an extra, let's say, like minute or two investment, to kind of making sure that, he can at least make these 4 chalks.
Yeah, it's one of those, you crossing your eyes. Well, crossing your T's and dot. Wow, crossing your T's and dotting your I's.
What's wrong with crossed eyes? Oh, we got a big key. Oh, we got a big key.
I was getting ready to say, look at what this dungeon could do. Have its own big key, vanilla.
Yeah, that's true. With the Eastern Palace Milibiki chest, you almost guarantee yourself that some people would probably never see it. Yeah, but okay, so that pod big key could actually be very interesting. We have not found pod. We have a handful of small keys. We at this point, outside of Skullwoods and Hera that we already saw both runners beat that there were crystals. We actually don't know the prizes yet. Right, but that pod big key could certainly be, pots of crystal. That looks like it's actually gonna be pretty useful.
Yeah, that's going to be an interesting chain of events to see how that pod big plays out. We got some cleaning up with the Speedrun checks here.
Yeah, I was gonna say, so you mentioned earlier, if there were a couple of options for Teto to go back to, the Zora area because he didn't have quite enough money. Watching, actually, in this case, I think Daze can demonstrate what potentially Teto could actually do, right? You actually alluded to this earlier, Magnet, where, well, in this case, we can actually go check Catfish, and then, with the mirror, just go straight on through it. Daze has just enough money in order to afford Zora.
Ooh, this is rough.
Oh my gosh.
I think, I can't believe I'm going to say this. This is one of those instances where you wish that pod was nearby. You can at least go in the back and have some money, because vanilla pod entrance, depending on where money is or isn't, and we have GT over here. Was that a Sphere 1 GT?
Man, where did Teto come in from? Yeah, I think so. Right, because it seems like, depending on what your opening routes are, the area that's right by Lake Hylia Islands, in the light world, is something that people, may or may not be able to, go back to, or even visit, early on. And yes, this is actually Sphere 1 GT. Maybe this will explain why we have 3 GT smalls all of a sudden.
Oh man, this is very, very scary to me.
Now, of course, I guess, right, but GT in this case wasn't really accessible, the later parts, right? Because, the cane was pearl locked, all the way in Skull Woods. We did have to get some amount of stuff, but certainly can be actually very open. So, was just willing to do, in this case, tile room with the Cane of Samaria, without the fire rod, without boots, without hookshot. Sequence breaking out the right side of GT is going to be a little bit more difficult. Timing is super, super tight. Maybe he's just willing to, in this case, wait it out for something else that'll give him a bit more mobility.
Yeah, I don't mind the play here, because sometimes with GT, right, it depends on the runner. I feel like sometimes you may go Wild Boy and you sequence break GT, but then you get something down the line that ties in GT, and you just never come back, and then the rest of your seed is in GT, and it's just like, oh wow, I should have came back.
Exactly, yeah, exactly. Right, and Tato's done so much sequence breaking, basically pre-Pearl, right? So maybe he's willing to, in this case, if it's not too big of a time investment, maybe he'll still go in to do this. But yeah, sequence breaking out the right side, or in this case, the left side. Maybe he's just willing to come back for.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, right, and chances are, especially with that fire rod, for example, right, it's going to show up at some point. Of course, we know that it logically locked Mothula. In this case, Mothula is a crystal, so it's going to come up somewhere. Hopefully, you're just going to hope that it comes up sooner.
Yeah, that fire rod loves to play games in this mode, so. Okay, Spike K finish. Nice.
Yeah. Yeah, actually, you're right. I forget in this case where Teto picked up his Cane of Burna, but now, yeah, definitely in logic with at least an invincibility item. And of course, I think Daze found Spike Cave super early, but I don't think he had much of anything in order to complete it.
Right. And Daze got his money. I forgot that there was money in Cackwell, so he doesn't have to worry about Vanilla Pod being a thing with the monkey.
Ah, thank you. Burna wasn't blind. Oh, that's right. Everything that Teto did basically was Seeker's Break.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, speaking of, when is he going to go back to Dark Shopping Mall? I mean, he does in this case have Blind's Hut in the back kind of isolated as well.
Well, that's an interesting call because I don't know. I guess depending on whenever you decide to route in East Dark World, you probably go back.
Yeah, well, especially also maybe also, you know, useful for Daze as well. You know, that is where we saw apparently our first and only sword so far in this entire seed. Daze probably, you know, would be pretty happy with that first sword. Teto, you know, on the other hand, you know, he's been, you know, pretty fortunate, you know, to have the sword basically the entire time.
Yeah, now that's good because he was able to get rid of the painful Mafula who we don't.
Oh yeah, that definitely very much helps.
And I'm pretty sure Daze would love everything that's in Blind's Hut.
Yeah, that's also very true. All those, yeah, speaking of, right, so we still can't actually get to the center entrance of the top of the Hyrule Castle either. You know, we only have one sword, no cape to be found. Not even sure if we could do like the shock block, ether breaking something in order to get us back there.
Oh yeah, the new trick.
Yeah.
I have to learn that. It looks so cool.
It looks also very difficult.
It does. Uh-oh. We get a fresh check here.
Yeah. And again, this is just a difference of sequencing. You know, again, Daze found his way over to Hera with that big key. He's like, I'm gonna go clear it out. Got his first crystal. Teto stumbled upon his way over here later. Now, in this case, with the with the Hera small key that he sequence broke out early in Skull Woods, which was not in Daze's repertoire when he was first here, or inventory. So this is gonna be a new check for us.
This is Mouse. Where are these boots? When is
That's
the
a
game,
great question.
When is the game going to be playable?
I wonder this question, you know, from minute one. And I really hope in this case that they get it before, let's say, the 2-hour mark.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
Oh.
What is that? Misery. Oh.
Ooh, well.
Interesting.
Yeah, we got a lot of very isolated big keys, or like, you know, big keys hiding in some pretty far out locations, right? You know, so, you know, we did see, of course, the pod big key that was kind of hiding in the vanilla big key chest of Eastern Palace. We just saw Teto pick up the Meyer big key, you know, in Hera basement. Very interesting, you know, situations because, you know, oftentimes, especially, you know, if pod and Meyer are crystals, you know, these keys are completely elusive, right? You basically spend the next, you know, like 30 minutes looking for these things. But again, if they're pendants, you basically never want to see them. And right now, we don't have any knowledge of our prizes, you know, for these dungeons.
Yeah, that is a very interesting point because that Meyer key, I often call it the cursed key, but that key could be very, very huge.
Yeah, and the fact that we have Samaria, you know, from, of course, you know, the back of Skull Woods, Teto also found Meyer, you know, as part of his travels. But I mean, you know, again, especially when we go get the, you know, when we get a hook shot, when we get boots, you know, that is looking at to be like quite a full, you know, clearable dungeon, you know, for Teto.
Yeah, absolutely. Which is making me think of where's this hook shot because we found the dam, we found GT with 3 small keys, we have Meyer, we found the big key. Where's this hook shot?
Yeah, where's this hook shot? Where are the boots, man?
yeah,
that's true. Right. And, you know, hook shot, you know, of course, boost is gonna kind of allow you to sequence break things out a little bit nicer, you know, on left side GT. But again, yeah, the hook shot is real. Oh my gosh, Daze found the myths here in Agina.
This old man hiding all the goods. or will it be good? Mitts are often tricky in Crosskeys, at least in my experience. So let's hope that these mitts are good.
Yeah. Oh my gosh. So after Days mirrored back over, this is in the Eastern Palace area. Again, another Sphere 1 location. You may or may not feel so great about finding, so early. Especially in this case, right? We were struggling for money so early, right? Couldn't Houlihan because we found flippers in Link's house. And then, of course, we found our first glove off a bottle vendor, with eventually finding our way back over there. Just turns out in this case, the gloves were pretty free in Sahasrula's huts.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, this is very exciting. Very scary though, but very exciting because glove to mitts, those can produce some of the most interesting combinations I've seen for variables that just I don't like. Not that I don't know, but it's like when you're closing your spheres out, like in the mid game, and it's like, all right, what are these mitts going to do? Are they going to be bait, or are they going to like lead to the rest of the seed? So
exactly. Oh my gosh, Teto.
Is he doing it? Is he?
He maybe wanted to think about this. What is a
sphere one? A sphere 1 ice palace? Oh, this is crazy.
Amazing. All right,
oh my goodness.
We're finding things, everything's coming at us, pretty fast and furious now, at least. Right, Teto found Ice Palace, again, also another Sphere 1. Days has finally, follows some finishers, has finally got his first sword, probably very happy to see that before the hour mark. Oh my gosh, though, but yeah.
Straight Vin Diesel.
Oh my god. But yeah, I mean, they've made both a ton of progress, right, on east side. They found some really, really nice things. Oh my gosh, Days is here in pod without the big key. Oh man.
This is interesting.
No, he has a big key.
He has the big key, but
he's the one who got it. Yeah.
Yeah.
He might be thinking like, well, in this case, right, maybe if I could just have one more small key here, let me check out the rest of the places. If he can get one more, that would be great for him to be able to finish up pod. Oh, our first bottle as well. I believe Days also found Sick Kid. He saw Sick Kid, so that he's going to be able to turn that in for another item. Pod being here is really not a great location.
No, this is dirty. Like, hopefully there is a small key in here, as game loves to troll with.
Right, and right, so we don't have the map yet, so we don't know still if pod's going to be a crystal or a, pendant. So in this case, we're just going to have to see.
Oh, nice. And Tito's going to clean
half magic is always going to be really nice. Yeah, yeah. And good, of course, for Teto to come back here. He has the pearl. He can bomb open, the other location. He's going to be able to finally get this one thing that... just doing this muscle memory. Waiting for the bomb to explode. Just 50 rupees. But he's got his peace of mind now.
Yeah, that's definitely a great peace of mind, because that's always one of those checks where it's like, okay, I left it behind. Please don't be something important.
Exactly. Okay, so with 3 pod keys, like, I'm gonna assume that... Well, okay, so what do you do in this case if you're in Dace's shoes, a magnet? Like, do you just use your 3 keys to try and get more items, in pod? Do you go straight to Helmasaur if you don't know if Helmasaur is a crystal or a pendant?
I'm not gonna lie to you, I would beat Helma in this instance, but like, it's such a weird instance because look at where a pod is. So I think for me, oh no.
Oh my god. I guess we're climbing. Oh my god. Are you also climbing without the hook shots?
I wouldn't. But it also depends on where, like, what's happening in the seed. Like this, like I applaud of this play, and I agree with clearing Helmasaur. You get it over with. If that harmless Hellway check decides to just go crazy on you, it's just like, okay, I'll live with it, But yeah, this is such an interesting chain of events, because where are the other 3 small keys is what I'm thinking about. Where are they? Where's this hook shot? What is leading to what? And hopefully there's not no nasty chain like coming back to Pod, because Pod likes to do weird things if you don't have 4 small keys or even 6. So.
Yeah, no, that's definitely 100% correct, right? So Pod, it has 14 items, and we can't actually see that because we don't have a compass here yet. But most of the items you can get, right? 10ish them, right? You only kind of need like a handful of keys, maybe just a couple, right? If you know how to use them, intelligently. But again, like you're also leaving behind in this case, let's say, harmless Hellway, vanilla Bicky chest, because it's like kind of like one key for one item, and you're just like, hopefully in this case that one place won't screw me over, but. Yeah, if something is there, you're not happy.
Yeah, it's one of those things where, I mean, as a runner and even as a spectator, like my stomach is kind of in knots because
these are some very difficult decisions.
Yeah, like four keys, you normally have like a better peace of mind, and you're just like, okay, if it's big key chest, I'm like, all right, I'll live with that. But harmless Hellway is one of those checks where it's just like, all right, you're gonna do this to me today, so you have to like double down on being okay with the decision that you made,
Oh yeah. Daze does a really nice job basically clearing up Helmasaur. Actually seen some very lesser seen bow strats.
And it's a crystal. Okay.
Nice. All right, we are 2 for 2 for mystery dungeons being crystals.
That's honestly good, because this is a horrible location for Pod.
Mm-hmm. We're still waiting for that fire rod to show up, by the way.
Ugh, that ugly item that's one of my favorites. That just hides everywhere.
Mm-hmm. Oh man, Teto on the other hand, he's faced with his own kind of like difficult decisions. He's finding all these connectors, and oh man, like he did find a cape, by the way, in Hammerpeg's location, or at least like the cave. So he does actually have in this case the option of following the connector. Puts him over to Dark Death Mountain.
That's so weird, because it's like I feel like you always in Crosskeys should have a nice, healthy connector to entrance relationship, and what I mean by that is like you'll have a decent amount of what you might see, and you don't have to overcommit to all the connectors, but I think around the hour mark is like, okay, you've seen a gang of connectors and you've seen a gang of entrances, you know what goes where, and you're just like, all right, I feel a bit more comfortable knowing what could be left as far as entrances.
No, that's definitely true. Alright, Teto kind of making his way over a little bit later than Daze over to Sahashila's hut, which is of course going to be his cousin at Agina. He's gonna go pick up his mitts again. Hopefully he doesn't feel too bad, because this was a very easily accessible place very early, and he definitely got his gloves much later than probably he wanted to.
Yeah.
Nice
it may force him. Oh, sorry.
No, I was just gonna say it was a nice bomb jump on Daze's side.
Yeah, that was a nice bomb jump. All these bottles.
I was gonna say, like, is Pod just like the Palace of Bottles? Because we've seen, I think, 2 of them here. We didn't know where any of them were, and suddenly we got 3 on Daze's side.
All right. I was gonna say for Teto, it may force him to do Smith checks and things of that nature. We'll see how he reacts to finding the mitts. There's Ice Palace available, which I'm not sure when Teto's gonna go in, or when Daze finds it, will he go immediately in?
So you mentioned that you are one of Zelda's disciples. Are you also a believer in the Rule of Fire?
Well, not really. I just believe that if I have fire and Cold Stare can be beat, because Ice Palace is one of my favorite dungeons, I'm getting rid of that dungeon as quick as possible, especially with Jane. Yeah. I like all the weirdo dungeons. Don't at me.
Ice Palace is actually a pretty interesting dungeon. I will definitely have to say that. It is very difficult because all the enemies hit so hard. But actually I think if you especially are adept at it, you can it's actually a very enjoyable time.
Yeah, it's one of those things is like once you like start I think Daze is about to be mad at this key.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah.
And this is just like the nature of Crosskeys, right? It wouldn't be a Crosskeys experience if you didn't pick up an item that you wanted, 2 minutes ago.
Absolutely. I approve of this dip. Let's see what's in here, you know, because that sword in logic, bombos in logic, and early big key as well as 2 keys. No hookshot, but for the hookshot locked items, but you never know. Hookshot could just be hiding in here.
Yeah. Also pointed out by chat is that we did. Yeah, we found the map somewhere, and so this is going to be something that Daze is probably going to be very happy clearing out. Unfortunately, we know that the second sword that Teto has was actually over in Blind's Hut. He sequence broke that very early. Daze has just not gone over to that area yet. I would say that Master Sword probably make him a bit happier being in this dungeon, especially if he's going to take on Cold Stare.
Be kind, game. Give him a Master Sword. In this chest right here.
I would like to see boots, by the way. We talked about it. We're over an hour in, and yeah. Oh wow!
Boo! Hookshot
Oh my
locked.
gosh!
Boo!
Wow! What a sequence for this game.
Boo! Eastern Palace. But that is interesting, by the way. I might be booing, but we know it's hookshot locked. There's the ice rod.
Ice rod. Okay. Very interesting. Yeah, but actually looks like Daze actually talked to Saha. Probably got his information that Turtle Rock is a green pendant and that. So ice rod it does lead to another item. You know, we could turn it in. To Saha for another item. But again, very interesting item there indeed.
Yeah, this is kind of goofy seeing that ice rod there like that. Hopefully we don't need that, but you never know.
Yeah, meanwhile though, Teto is still here. I think he has maybe one more small key for Pod versus Daze. He definitely does not have the big key though, so he is not going to be able to finish out this dungeon. Yeah, and then also getting his news that he also does have the GT big key, so that is going to be another option again for our runners in order to climb.
Oh my goodness. This hookshot could be on the climb. I mean, I hope not, but this is looking very, very crazy. And then also, we have that extra key for the Hellway. Is he gonna... Well, it's not an extra key, excuse me. I think he only has 3, actually.
Oh, maybe he didn't get the extra key, right. Right, I think collectively they have 4 pot keys, I want to say.
Yeah,
but probably didn't get the extra one, yeah.
Right.
Yeah, so right now, we're still kind of looking in this case for a couple of, major items that are going to unlock hopefully the rest of the seed, right? We certainly know that the Fire Rod's going to show up. That's going to make, right side GT accessible. As you mentioned earlier, where is this hook shot, right? Hook shot's going to give us the rest of, in this case, left side GT. It is going to let us comfortably climb GT because, you don't have to, basically spend 5 minutes of your time, of the seed only to not be able to get over the gap for Moldorm 2. I mean, we can also get into Mire, with that hook shot.
Yeah, that hookshot will open up a lot of things. Also on Tato's side, we saw that Harmless Hellway was just a piece of heart.
Okay. So, I guess, nothing that's gonna punish Daze. I guess the only outstanding thing is going to be, the vanilla bikini chest. Yeah.
And that's one of those things where it's like, okay, if you're there, bye-bye. I'll see you in the next life because I'm not coming back here for a while. Oh no, Daze, please be careful.
Oh, Daze is really trying. So he does have a fairy, I believe. He does also have a red potion.
Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, unlike Tato's fight with Mothula, Teto had no safeties versus Daze here, even though it's going to be a pretty dangerous fight. Doesn't even need safeties here, but it's certainly going to be a bit safer.
Well done by Daze.
Yeah, again, also swords seems to be in very low supply these days.
Well, I mean, I didn't even see where Teto got his master from, so that'll be good on the Cold Stare fight.
Yeah, right. The fact that, you know, Teto does have a whole sword upgrade over days, and beams, actually, for that matter, right? He's going to be actually clear out the rooms a little bit faster, but also, yes, way safer, you know, when it comes to full stare. You know, you actually see in this case, Days trying to hold out his sword and, you know, kind of, you know, to use the hammer, maybe trying to extend the hitbox a little bit more. But again, like, it's not that defensive. You know, worst case, right? Teto just starts spinning, and that actually at least, you know, puts the cold stare puffs a little bit more distance to him.
Yeah.
Yeah. Oh man, yeah. Speaking of, you know, more sequence broken stuff, earlier Teto did find silvers in Blind's Hut as well. That's where he got his other sword. You know, this is something that, again, Days hasn't gotten to do yet, but he's definitely using silvers here to his advantage.
Yeah, those silvers are coming in clutch. Okay.
Have we checked Floating Island? I guess we haven't checked Floating Island.
Just for 50 pack. I wonder if Days goes to clear Eastern Palace.
Oh yeah, that was actually a very good point as well. Right, we found the Eastern Palace big key that Teto is going to pick up here in like 2 seconds. Okay, given that I didn't quite catch Medallion, our trackers did, thank you so much. But it looks like actually it is actually, as you mentioned before, long ago, Magnet, it was a double Quake. So not gonna be able to check this entrance quite yet.
Dan's game. This game is cruel, I tell you, Miss Mouse. You have 2 capable, working medallions. Oh, let's just make it Quake.
Yeah, that's true.
So cruel.
Oh yeah, all right. So as Teto's making his way through Ice Palace, also at least giving myself the reminder that we also did pick up the mushroom. I don't believe we saw a potion shop, but it is going to be something that they can turn in after this. It's pretty easy to loot it too.
That is, that is correct. I wonder what she's hiding today.
Now, I guess, like, with those mitts, would you be interested in trying to do, you know, like, Smith Chain at all?
Yes, absolutely. Early mitts are so goofy. I get caught up in so many things routing-wise, and I don't, like, those mitts, I'm so worried about them, especially with the double Quake action going on. There's, like, it's so many possibilities that it could be doing, could be leading to our hook shot. We don't know. So... But
oh yeah, that's actually a really good point, right? Even though we kind of saw, you know, Teto and Days get their mitts, not necessarily like late, but it's, you know, more like mid-game-ish area, right? They were both very, you know, logically accessible from basically, you know, like minute 1, right? You know, rupees, you know, for stuff is never going to be in logic, so it always assumes that you have enough money. Even though this case, unfortunately, it was not the case because we couldn't hula hand. And then, you know, the other glove was just in, you know, Sahasua's entrance.
Yeah, and I totally understand, you know, the play to not go directly towards them, especially since how they got it, where they got it is like, I have all these other interests that are more important to check at the moment, so I'm gonna wait, and I totally understand the play to wait on the mitts. Days finding the north of Desert Palace. No big key, so he can't clear it just yet. He will go ahead and clear Skull Woods. And Teto on his cold stare fight, using Master Sword spins and cape. I like this strat.
I'd also forgotten that Teto had picked up a cape. That half magic is really helping him out here.
Yeah.
Yeah, and you can also see in this case, right, even though the hammer does more damage, right, does temper sword damage, I mean, you know, the spins are much, much safer.
Yeah. That's pretty much dead puffs.
Yep, and another crystal down for Teto. So both of them, in this case, are making, very, very good progress. Daze also still, apparently, no fire rod to be found, but who cares, because we already saw Teto pretty easily sequence break out Mothiel in this case to light the torches. So Daze is just gonna do the same thing, but again, this isn't gonna be much of a nicer fight because Daze is also still on Master Sword, so hopefully on Fighter Sword. Hopefully he's going to be able to have, at least a decent moth fight.
I think Daze will be fine.
Yeah. Oh, right, and especially, another major difference again, right, is that Daze has, a fairy and a potion. Teto had nothing coming in here.
Yeah, so. that was scary, and he really made that work. That's real kudos to him.
Yeah. I mean, these guys were good.
Oh yeah, and Nick's also pointing out that he had blue mail as well.
Oh yeah, that's true.
Yeah, get wrecked, Mafia. Get out of here.
Nice job, Daze. Nice job.
Man, see, you want nothing.
Exactly. Yes. Teto coming back here over to Turtle Rock. Right, with the Canis Mario. We haven't seen this for a bit.
Yeah, the more we're starting to dwindle down in checks, though, these mids are coming into some weird, goofy play.
Yeah, it looks like Daze. They're kind of retracing each other's footsteps right now. We already saw kind of Teto 2. Dig game, I think it was 3 bombs, wasn't even worth his time picking up. I don't know, maybe in this case that it's gonna be something like Smith Chain. Maybe Daze is gonna be picking it up at this point. Or not. That's fine. That's also fine too.
Ooh, interesting. It could be on a climb. I mean, we don't know. This is weird.
You 100% are correct, Magnet. Like, we don't want to climb GT without the hook shot, but, there is nothing that's stopping the game from putting the hook shot on the climb.
Yeah, absolutely. Because the game's cruel like that.
Yeah, the game certainly has a sense of humor at times. Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I will point this out too. Remember we talked about Thieves Town? We still haven't found the small key to Thieves Town, but the game is also cruel in ways where it can have the hook shot in blind cell as well, or boots to hook shot.
Yeah.
Gross. So we don't want this, and yeah, I like this play from Daze. Clear what you have, see what this is.
Yeah, right. But again, we still don't know the other pendants. Chances are, for all we know, maybe Eastern Palace is a pendant. But again, you've got the big key. There are 2 more items back here, that are locked by the big key itself. And so, you may as well just, in this case, take it. Again, it could also be a crystal, right? So
yeah.
Right, you were talking about Thieves Town small key. Another cruel scenario is that the Thieves Town small key is actually locked within the big chest. We will never know, basically.
I forgot about that.
Yeah, so, that could be something that maybe you're worth considering doing, if maybe it gets late enough.
Yeah. Thank you for bringing that to my attention, because I totally forgot about it.
It's really not a scenario that I think even crosses people's minds until you kind of witness it and you're like, oh my gosh, that could actually happen. And yes.
Oh man, that just made me shiver a little bit. That's just dirty.
Alright, so Teto turning in his mushroom. And again, if we find the potion shop, maybe he'll go over there eventually, but I don't think we've seen it yet. Meanwhile, Daze is on his way back to Eastern Palace. He did find 300 rupees in the big chest.
More money. Definitely got a lot of money now compared to the start. The start was very stingy. Daze coming up on his Armos fight.
Aw, it is our pendant. Our second pendant.
Oh, great.
Well, so more, in this case, knowledge for us. We only have one more pendant left to find.
That Meyer key could be a thing.
Yeah, so right, it looks like it's going to be a 50-50 between, it looks like Desert and Meyer. And you're right, so just as a recap, the Meyer big key was in Hera Basement. Daze did not have the Hera small key until he finished Hera, which was in, well, finished Hera, the small key was in Skull Woods. And so, well, we don't know when he's going to go back there.
Yeah, that'll be interesting. Also, I'm looking at it right now, right? And we may not need a fire rod. It just depends on the layout.
Oh, right. You mean like practically speaking in order to finish the scene? Right. Yeah. No, that's actually a very, very good point. Right, because like, you know, Trinex, or at least Turtle Rock is a pendant. So we may not need the fire rod in order to beat Trinex. We already saw both Teto and Daze sequence break out, you know, Mothula with only the lamp. And yeah, like, we also can sequence break out the right side. We just would like something a little bit extra, right? You know, the boots, the hook shot, something to give us a little bit more speed in order to break out the right side of GT.
Yeah, that's a very hard thing to do without boots and hook shot. As stated, Zelda stated earlier in the chat.
Yeah, so, but this
it's like it has to be frame perfect, I believe, to get that to work.
Right, the timing is so tight. And, you know, and so they do have a fire shield, I guess, for what it's worth. Can actually, you know, deflect some of the fireballs from the shooter. But, I mean, it's still kind of something that's pretty difficult.
Yeah, it's a pain.
Daze finally picked up his silvers and master sword. He's like, why didn't I come here earlier? My fights would have been so much easier and faster.
Yeah. Thieves and Swamp, okay. Those are our 5/6s.
Yeah, I don't think we've seen Pyramid Fairy entrance yet either. So that also could still be a thing. But again, where is the hookshot?
This is getting gross and gross because we've had these for a long time, and you know what's a gross thing that I've thought about? Because left side likes to hide boots sometimes in seeds like this, and hopefully left side GT isn't being cruel and saying, oh yeah, I'm just gonna hide the boots over here, you know.
You were talking about left side GT. I was thinking about left side Swamp, and I was like, well, okay, so Magnet.
Oh, that's wow. Okay, yeah, go into it. Let's get into it.
You know, I was actually even wondering. I'm like, Magnet, like if you find Swamp Palace, like I guess we don't have the Swamp Small yet, but like if you find it, are you going in without the hook shot?
Okay, so you mentioned the mirror in Eastern Palace, which lets me know you saw the race of yesterday, right?
Yes, correct.
I got the flippers yesterday and immediately went into Swamp, and I was like, watch, the hammer's gonna be over here. Sure enough, the hammer was in there. So I guess it depends on how froggy you want to feel and how tilted you may be with the seed. But like, I don't know if you go in, you know. I don't know. It's definitely not a bad call, I would say, if you find a Swamp Small, you know.
Yeah, and again, like our options right now are without the hook shot just seem so awful. And yeah, and right, yeah, we did find, to answer your question, we did find GT. It was in the Lake Hylia Island Light World, I think the shop.
Yeah, it was by the shop. Cause you, oh my goodness, this is so weird. Cause like GT is just saying, hey, find me.
Yeah, I mean, at some point, like again, at some point, you know, like what you have to make a more difficult decision, right? So, are you gonna climb GT without, you know, without the hook shot? Are you gonna go back to Thieves Town? We do have the Thieves Town big key, you know, so we can go clear that. But then, of course, you're risking leaving the big chest behind.
Right, absolutely. It's so many tough decisions. Like, I don't blame these runners for not even saying, okay, I'm just gonna climb GT or I'm just gonna go to GT. You know, it's a very, very difficult call.
Oh, and Teto also being kindly reminded that he did find the Hyrule Castle small key, so now he can go get his Swamp Palace big key from here in the back of Escape, or in the front of Escape. Also, yes, kind reminder that we did find Aga Tower at the Curiosity Shop, but no CT small key, so there is one more item back there. This is Dave's first time in GT, by the way. Another Spirit 1 location that he's, feeling, I'm sure, super great about. I would imagine at this point, Daze may not be, may not want to, in this case, sequence at the right side, even for Tile Room immediately, but he'll probably at least do a couple bomb jumps over to Stalfos Room.
I don't mind this play at all, because things are slim pickings at this point, and we're looking at some really, really crazy checks to having our progress from what it looks like. So it's like, if you can wild boy GT, wild boy it. And then if you do, you might as well just say, all right, I feel comfortable full clearing the rest of this. So let's see what happens over here.
Yeah, I mean, Daze is here. He has a GT big key. He's got all 4 GT small keys. I mean, maybe the climb is actually pretty tempting right now.
Yeah.
Given what other options, as you just said, right, he has left for him. And of course, right, these 4 chests are definitely sequence broken. We don't have the hook shot. You're not expected to bomb jump over here. It just happens to be this is kind of like an item dense room. So Daze is kind of willing to probably spend his time here. But you know what? It's not very useful.
Gross.
More health than we know what to do with. And at this point, probably not useful. Yeah, also Daze is sitting through his tile room, and I guess after this is going to be kind of, the moment, a decision point for Daze. Is he going to climb? Is he going to go do something else after this? And for what it's worth, right, the fact that this is one screen away from Link's house means that he can come back here pretty easily. So maybe he doesn't have to make this decision right away, but, you're here, right?
I agree. This is interesting. I don't know what he does, honestly. So it'll be interesting to see. Can't say I blame him. Especially with Thieves Town being, clearable with 1 check in logic, with those gross scenarios we were talking about earlier.
Ah, okay. So we've got, actually, I believe a new check for both Daze and Teto. So finally, with the Master Sword and with the Cape, either or, we are going to be able to check the top entrance here in Hyrule Castle.
See what it is.
It is just a shop. So disappointing.
Goodness. Yeah, I totally understand this play.
Yeah, no, this is actually very efficient, for Daze. We finally be able to check this new entrance. We did pick up the Thieves Town big key, and at this point, again, right, when we first came here, pretty early, let's put it off so you can find that small key. And, well, 40 minutes later, we have not found anything to our name, so I guess we're just gonna go clear this place out. And Daze also sees that, it is a crystal, as marked by the C in the upper left-hand corner. So we are going to at least claim, something that's progress.
Teto clearing Zora.
Yeah, right. Okay, yeah. So, you mentioned this exact scenario, for Teto, what, like 50 minutes ago or something like that, right? Even though he didn't have all the Zora money, he still could come back after checking Catfish. So this is at least, just Teto kind of wrapping up some loose ends here.
Yeah, it's more of a peace of mind. It's like, okay, I'm clearing up some of the stuff I didn't get earlier, and it'll help pinpoint him to a play that he might even not. I don't know. It's weird because I can't speak for him But for what we're able to see, these are options that is just like, oh, they're so gross. Do I really want to do them?
Yeah. I mean, right now, right, we're kind of left at a point where all of our good options are becoming exhausted, and then now we're kind of, getting down to the lesser desirable ones.
Uh-oh. We just found the desert map, Mrs. Clearmouse.
Oh, interesting.
So, we're going to see. We're going to see. Because if that's a crystal, you're like, all right. That basement.
Yeah, exactly, right. But this is kind of like a big moment for Daze. It's not like he knows where the Mire Big Key is. We know, right? Because we saw it on Teto's side.
Right.
And going back to Hera Basement may not really be, something on Daze's mind, like, at all.
Absolutely. Oh my God.
Yeah, I mean, I guess, like, for value that's in Thieves Town so far, I guess, the Desert Palace map is certainly something that you don't often get to see or consider to be value. But in this case, knowledge is actually, pretty good dang important.
Yeah, knowledge is king in this game, I feel.
Now, I guess, like, not, of course, to rain on anybody's,
Desert
Palace parade. If Desert is, in fact, the crystal, we're still gonna have to go find that Desert Palace Big Key. That Big Key could also be just as elusive.
It could also be in Mire Chest. We don't know. It's so many variables, and this can get crazy, so... Still lots of game left.
Yeah, still lots. Right, I mean, we have a lot of stuff, right? And we've got a lot of crystals down on our side. But it also happens to be, I think we're just kind of missing, one or two kind of like major gating items for the rest of the seed.
Absolutely.
Daze does not giving us a map check yet! Daze. We need to know.
I think he's turning into mushroom. Oh, he's not checking. Oh, wow.
I want a map check, dude. Like, we need to know.
This is interesting. Because I'm looking at... and I was get ready to say, I don't know if there's many more. I really can't speak. Any more entrances, and Zelda just pointed it out.
Yeah, we're gonna need something else at this point, right? We're like a Quake Medallion, for example, right? That'll get us one more entrance at at Turtle Rock Main.
Right.
Boots, of course, will give us all the Boots lock locations. A hook shot wouldn't necessarily open up more entrances per se, but it would give us a lot more stuff to do, within dungeons.
Yeah, this is... Whew.
Yeah, it looks like also Daze at this point is also going to, follow up with the Smith chain. We already got a saw on Teto's side that it was, I think, 20 rupees and a heart piece or something like that. It was something that was not very useful.
It's what I like the Hyrule go to the bar starter kit. I mean, $20, it's hard. You might have some fun and enjoy your time with the locals. Maybe chat up with a few,
Does that mean that your night kind of ends in heartbreak? Because you only get a little piece of love after that, right?
Oh yeah, it's gonna end in all the heartbreak, not just a little bit. You better go home to mommy.
Okay, so after this Magnet, after Daze at least, turns in the Smith and does the whole Smith chain. I guess we're climbing GT. Oh my gosh!
Oh,
right, Daze did his map check. It is a crystal at Desert Palace. So
we're looking like, all right. So here's the thing: we might not need. Well, might not. We don't need a fire rod per se, or we might need a fire rod per se. We still don't know, depending on the entrance, and if it locks something important. But we're looking for Swamp Small Key, Hookshot, and Desert Palace Key for both runners, actually.
Yeah, that's true. if we find the hook shot, that's going to give them, like, again, a million things to do. And so hopefully that's going to be, it really does seem to be gating at this point for everything else that's going on for the seed.
Yeah, grimy hookshot. We love to see it.
Of course, good on Days in this case to actually save his portal. I think Teto also did this earlier as well. Just the fact that we can go flute, turn into Smith, and then immediately come back here in the Dark World.
Absolutely, that's great usage of that portal.
Alright, looks like the Tato's also going to follow into, in this case, what Days did a little bit earlier. He's going to check this entrance that we know was just a shop, not going to be useful, and then presumably he's going to also do these down.
Yeah, totally understandable. Because this is gross. Excuse me, this is so gross.
Alright, looks like the purple chest, not fruitful. Days is gone, and it looks like he's going to do the climb.
Yeah.
Absolutely makes sense at this point. He's put it off for so long. And at this point, he doesn't have probably, better options.
Yeah, I agree with that. That's, The plot thickens, Mrs. Mouse.
Yeah, and at least at this point, Days has Silvers and Master Sword, something that he hasn't really had for most of the game.
Oh yeah, this will make this climb a breeze, and waiting until, having, better equipment at least, and exhausting all of your options before doing the climb. That's a good thing to do when seeds tend to be like this, I feel.
Yeah, and again, right, like doing the climb here is like a multi-minute investment, right? You do get 4 checks up here. Technically, I guess only 3 checks, if you don't have the hook shot. But again, like this, this is it's certainly an investment not to be taken lightly. But if this is the only thing that you have kind of left going for you.
I just hope that it's just not boots up there. Like, at this point of the game, you kind of want to see the hook shot. You're like, all right, just put me out of my misery. Where's this hook shot? I've been looking for it. Give me the hook shot. Don't do something goofy like boots. Then you gotta go do boots checks to find a hook shot, and then something like double climb required stuff. Like, let's hope that that's not the case here.
I 100% agree with you, but I mean, like, Days is really showing off the fact that he and Bees are like BFFs, because that Bee has done wonders for him so far in the Gauntlet.
That Bee put on a clinic. Them enemies must have been honeys. That Bee was going right for him.
Not that okay, we're just gonna see what Mini Helmet chest has for him, as well as the pre-Moldorm chest. I did also potentially think that we do have Master Sword now. We haven't found the book yet either.
Oh,
yeah, there's some pretty bad scenarios up here. I guess the hope is that you don't need to find, you don't have to come back here again. Maybe the initial climb was all that you need.
Yeah, we're about to find out. This is some great suspense. I don't know about you, but I've been enjoying all of this stomach knotting suspense. Because it's like...
Oh, yeah. No, this has been a great race so far. And, Days and Teto are, amazing runners. They play a ton of rando, very active in the community. Certainly go check them out. This is actually just a sample of what they normally do.
And Teto getting the blind script. Let's go.
Another crystal down for him. It is a 5/6 crystal. Days also has this crystal as well. But, of course... the other crystal being Swamp Palace for 5/6 might be, a bit farther out in the cards.
The moment of truth.
Oh, yeah, finally, again, multiple minutes later, we're finally here at the top of GT. What is item number 1 that's actually still in logic?
Please, hookshot. A map?
That's not helpful.
That better not be a pot key.
Oh my gosh.
Oh, that's gross.
Oh my gosh.
That is honest.
Well,
God,
oh
gross.
my god. So that's 2 more entrances we can go see. Oh my god.
Well, there's the swamp small. That's something. That's something.
Yeah, that does look like. I mean, certainly required. We haven't found swamp yet, but that is, man, that is a bad climb.
That is
for
horrible.
that.
Yeah, that's horrible because you literally got to go to desert, go see what's on the right side, and then I don't know. What do you think we find? You think we find a hook shot, or you think we find a?
Oh my gosh, dude! No, we really need to find that hook shot, and because the hook shot just opens up so much. But again, you know, I can definitely see in this case if it leads to something else. I mean, for their sake, I'm really hoping it's the hook shot.
Yeah, this can also bring up something interesting if it is the hook shot, you know, because of the Meyer small. Oh, well, there it is.
Finally!
I mean,
oh
not
my
Meyer
gosh!
small, Meyer big. Well.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know where he's going. He's going right back into GT.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
That's so
what
gross.
sequence, by the way, right? Like you have to climb. You have to climb GT with no hook shot. Only get the desert small in order to go back to desert in order to get your hook shot.
Yeah. Oh my goodness. I'm appalled, Mrs. Clearmouth.
It is so bad here. What? Yeah, I was gonna ask where is Days going?
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't sure.
Although we do see in this case Teto making the right call, even though it is a little bit later, you know, for him versus dazedcloud. But he is going to be able to at least pick up his hookshot division. Oh
yeah, I forgot all about Hookshot Cave. Yeah, good call on coming here to get rid of this very quickly. Don't mind this at all.
Yeah, the fact that we saw this entrance like 10 minutes into the seed or something.
Right.
Good for Days on remembering that Hookshot Cave actually does exist.
Ooh, and there's the big key. Well, then,
Wow.
that is interesting, because what are we now? Boots, possibly, from finding swamp location?
Yeah,
Possibly?
that's right. I think are we just in swamp entrance searching?
Yeah, because it could be Fire Rod. It could also be Quake. Yeah, and Zelda thank you, Zelda. I appreciate that. It could be either one of those items that's locking swamp. Boots, Quake, Fire Rod. This is gross.
Mm-hmm.
I might have said that like 100 times.
This seed has not been the most friendly. I definitely give you that.
Yeah, so I think we got the right call here. Go clear, desert, get your crystal. You'll have 6 crystals. And Teto is finishing up his portion of the climb. He's about to find the dirtiness that was on the climb. Oh, he didn't get the bottom torch.
We're definitely seeing some consequences in this case of not having the fire rod.
Yeah.
You think we're gonna find another sword before we fight Ganon, out of curiosity?
If I was to be a betting man, I would say no.
No. Sad. Yeah,
if I was betting.
Yeah, I mean, after all this, right? They're still gonna be on Master. I guess they have silvers, but they're still gonna at least be on Master Sword.
I will say this though, GT is liable to pack the rest of the punch that you need, and you might end up finding the sword, but I just feel like as quick as this is kind of going, even though the dirtiness that was the swamp small up top and the hook shot on right side, and we're 6 crystals in at 146 for Dazed. And it's possible that the rest of the seed is just right in GT. A sword, a fire rod, Quake, you name it, because we had all of those keys very, very early. I mean, between Sphere 1 and Sphere 2, I mean, you know, it's quite possible to just see an all-star lineup of items just show up before, you know, things that you may need. Fire rod, boots, Quake, sword.
Exactly. And it looks like actually this is exactly where Daze is going back to. You know, he's like, I have the hook shot. And, well, I don't want to go dip Pendant Mire, so here we are in GT.
That's totally understandable. Who wants to go to Pendant Mire at this point?
There is the hook shot for Teto. Well, Teto actually might consider Pendant Mire. Chances are he'll go back to hook shot cave.
You know what? This is... You might be right about that. I just think with the hook shot, there's no... Like, I feel like you have so much density in GT, is like, why not go to GT?
Right, and you're right. Yeah, we have so much density in GT, and you know, again, right, like we had the key so early, so certainly could be very reasonable for you to come in here now with the actual item equipment. Now, Teto, of course, does have a bit more cleanup in terms of crystal dungeons left. For example, you know, he hasn't finished Pod yet, even though he got the Pod big key from Eastern Palace when he beat it. So there's going to be something for him to do.
That gross location.
Oh, we got the boots! Wow! Oh my gosh! What a location, dude, for those boots.
Oh my goodness! See, this game.
Those boots are so difficult to find, like even from sequence breaking. Oh, and oh my gosh!
Yeah.
Why didn't we just climb earlier? I mean, you know, forehead, like just get everything. Get the boots, you know, you get the sword, you get a mirror shield.
You just called forehead.
Oh my gosh, what a...
I mean, it's, you know, that's a hard call, even though it's early. I know some players that would make that call, and then I know for myself that's not a call that I don't think I would have made.
No. I mean, nothing. You would not do that reasonably. You know, again, right? We don't have hook shot. You don't have boots in order, and, you know, to go to sequence breakout and like bomb jump all the way over to the left side is a very long time. And you know, if you mess up even one of the bomb jumps, like you have to start all over, right? It's not like you have an infinite supply, but it is a lot of time.
Yeah.
Nice vanilla bonk rocks there. Alright, so Daze, right now, again, this is also something that's very reasonable. He got the boots out of Rando Room. You know, we're just gonna, you know, if Swamp Palace is one of these boots locked locations, you know, like he is sitting pretty.
Yeah.
Alright, looks like he's going to at least check the bonk rocks near Link's house. We do have dark bonk rocks as well. Maybe that's gonna be Daze's next stop. I don't know if it's considered vanilla. There are multiple fairy fountains like that out there, but it is, it looks vanilla-ish.
They all the same, right?
They look the same, but they may not be the same on the back as well.
This is true. This is true.
He's trying to item dash with a hammer, eventually just gave up and said, I'm just gonna hammer you down the old-fashioned way.
Alright, so will we find the swamps here? Or are we still looking for Fire Rod Quake possibility?
Yeah, and Daze did find at the front of Turtle Rock at Light World Bonk Rocks, so and we haven't seen the Fire Rod at the side. Oh, we can't sequence break that, so it is not. It's locked here. All right, Teto finishing up his Desert Palace. Next crystal. I guess we're going back.
I mean, yeah, we gotta find these things. And then you mentioned it earlier too, you know, and I didn't want to say this, but the possibility of Mire. Oh man, for Days' sake, I really hope it doesn't come down to it, because again, like
there are a million things that he's going to go do before Hera basement. Yeah, but unfortunately, like, and Days, Bane, I think, again, a very reasonable call, right? He got boots out of the fire bar room, the fire snake room. That opened up 4 new entrances. He only looking for swamp. And, if it happens to be there, why waste more time in GT? I guess the good news, the silver lining, I guess, that comes out of all this is that we can go mode Swamp Palace. It's actually also kind of interesting because, like, we kind of see, we saw kind of like a bit more difference, right? Like, Teto sequence broke out everything at the beginning of the game, and now he's actually kind of sticking more in logic towards the end game.
kind of makes sense, I understand it, and it's like you broke in so much logic, right? It's like, all right, the stuff that I have to find has to be within the logic now, like, but now you're looking for these things, and it's like, where are these things at? Where's the fire rod? Where's Quake? Teto gonna find his boots. He may opt to leave out himself, but let's see.
Yeah, no, that's certainly very true. Alright, eventually Daze has finally made his way back to Ice Armos, and we get... Oh no!
Uh-oh.
We are...
That's what I was worried about.
We are now reminded of the fact that there is another chest in Castle Tower that's available to us.
Oh my goodness, because you have the climb again, right? You have Mire. You have the big key to Mire, which is in Tower Hera basement. Wherever this what's the word, right? Potion shop is.
Oh right, that's true. We also haven't found Potion Shop.
Where is she? Yeah, and Teto also, he bailed with the boots. Totally understandable.
Yeah, no, exactly. Right. Again, we're in Swamp Palace Go mode. You have 4 more entrances open to you immediately with the boots. Very reasonable, exactly. Yeah, it just happens to be in this case that, Daze is just a little bit ahead, with at least the boots checked, so we know that it doesn't lose anything. And of course, right.
Oh man, all right. This Mire is going to be scary.
Yeah, and also, like, even though Teto is still, in this case, looking for Swamp Palace, he still has to go finish a pod at some point, go get his last crystal. Just something for him to keep in mind.
By the way, for a pod.
Looks like actually still 4.
We still have big chest and big key chest, excuse me, for pod as well.
Oh yeah, that's also true. We haven't found another pod key yet. Okay, Dazed is... Alright, so if... This is gonna be a moment, so if Dazed finds the fire rod or Quake, I assume he's leaving, but if that item is in the Mire big chest or on Vitreous, it is going to be pretty painful. Or I guess on Pedestal, for that matter.
Yeah. It's a very pivotal play here. Where do you think the book might be hiding this mouse?
Oh my gosh, the book. Maybe it's here in Mire, right? We haven't really seen much else. Alright, check number 1. Alright, so Teto has also exhausted his boost checks. He is now back in GT. He is also presumably going to get his Castle Tower small key as well.
You know what's interesting with this play? I don't think Teto climbs, but it would be interesting if he reclimbed again.
Oh my gosh, dude, no, you're absolutely right. We do have the Moldorm chest as well. That's open because of the hook shot.
I just, with him having the Mire big, I just feel like, he will probably go into Mire first before that. But You never know. You never know. Well, there's Quake. Goofy game.
Yeah, looks like Dazed is not. Oh no, he's leaving.
I can't say I blame him.
All right, back to Turtle Rock. Let's see what that entrance is.
Ay, ay, ay. This is... wow. I love watching these races because it's interesting to see like what, you know, players would do as opposed to like what you might be used to seeing or, you know, doing yourself if you play. And this will be interesting to see if this Swamp Palace is at Turtle Rock Vanilla.
Oh yeah. And you know, and for what it's worth, Magna, aren't you glad you're watching the scene and not playing it?
Yes, because I would be. I know you know me. I would be. Oh my god! Ah! I would be pulling the little bit of hair that I don't have out. So, watching it is a little bit on the, you know, the easier going side. But I do feel for the runners having to make these tough decisions.
Yeah. And again, right? Like, so the sequence of the hook shot, it was pretty convoluted, right? You had to climb GT. Without the hook shot for Desert Palace small key, go back to Desert right side, and then get the hook shot. That decision, you know, is never easy. And it, pretty much was also kind of the last points, you know, for both Teto and Dazed. Is it Swamp? It is Swamp! Oh my gosh, what a sequence!
Meyer being the answer, but the big key not needed. Oh my.
Alright, Dazed definitely dodged a potential bullet for not having to do hair abasements. Not gonna be punished in this particular case, so he is finally in go mode, just shy of the 2-hour mark.
And no fire rod needed in sight. Fire rod.
Yeah, that's actually a
probably
really
in
good
here.
point.
Probably in here. Fire rod loves to hide, and I'm saying it with this voice for a reason. Because the fire rod almost always is in here when you don't have it and you're in gold.
Exactly. That is certainly really right. So, like, logically speaking, right, the fire rod is definitely needed because Skull Woods was a crystal. You're not expected to bomb jump over anything with the lamp and sequence break it out. But we certainly, but I mean, we saw that Dazed and Teto definitely didn't need that.
Absolutely.
Right, and so, like, we know that logically, you know, things have to show up, right? But honestly, like, if it's a crystal, we can bypass some of the logical, softer, you know, requirements.
It's exactly as you said. You know, what? Like, it's just a suggestion. If you know how to do some of these cool, neat tricks that both of these runners know how to do, you know. Oh, that was a lovely clip.
Yeah, nice job, Dazed. Dazed is, I think he's very interested in finishing the seed.
Yeah, he said, I have places to be. I am tired. It's probably somewhere like midnight or something around.
I think it's 1 a.m. where he is right now.
My goodness. He's going to go straight to sleep. Nice dash.
Yeah, and you know, you know, right, so, like, chances are, right, we have no idea where the fire rod is, especially if it only technically locks, you know, like Mothula, for example, right? So it may not show up really in the chain of progression that we see on runners, but also, you know, where are the other two pod keys? Pod's also a crystal. Right. We have no idea where those are either. Who cares?
Right. Pod in a gross location, keys in a gross location, like you said, who cares?
Oh no, Teto. Well, okay, we know again, you know, that all we need is a quick medallion. You know, on Teto's side, it looks like he's gonna avoid the big chest for now, the cutscene chest. Sorry.
Yeah, and I totally would too. It's like, why waste more time when you're looking for possibly one thing, maybe two to, you know, finish out.
Exactly. I hope, you know, certainly I hope in this case that he does bail before when he finds a quake. Oh, there's the book!
Oh!
Oh no!
Oh! Let's see if he bails. I think he might bail. I think he bails.
Yeah. Hopefully he does not get baited into checking book, you know, the tablets. That's just gonna be more of a waste of time for him.
Yeah, I felt like he would bail. Like that. he doesn't strike me as somebody who's gonna stay for that. Like,
Oh, that was also a very fortunate mirror portal that he didn't actually end up getting like caught by the snitch. Otherwise, it would have been some more large talk for him.
Right, this is true. Did you know the biggest and heaviest cheese ever produced weighed blah 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 money and 32 feet long?
I would like some cheese. That sounds pretty good for lunch.
What's your favorite cheese? Because I love provolone.
Good question. Yeah, provolone's good. I'm trying to think of the cheese that I had before. It started with an M.
Oh man, no, I don't know why you said M, and the first thing that came to my mind listen, everybody that's listening to me, I don't know my letters apparently because I was thinking Gouda. All right. What cheese does start with M other than mozzarella? Machango? What's Machango? Manchango. Munster, right? That's right, Munster cheese.
Munster, yes, correct. That was actually the kind that I really liked.
Munster's pretty good.
Munster, yeah, it's a little bit sharper, but it's certainly very good.
We got Monterey, thank you. And Tato's gonna finish out Swamp, and then he's gonna finish out Pod afterwards. And get your GGs in the chat for dazedcloud.
Phew, what a seed!
Right?
GG's Days, finishing up first place, finally finding Swamp Palace from that go mode quake, technically. Let's see, what do we have for ZSR bot telling us? 2 hours, 3 minutes, and 21 seconds. This will put Dazed at a 3-1 record. Looks like Teto has seen the dot done in the race room. Very understandable. Looks like he is at least going to throw in the towel. So get your G's up in chat for Teto as well.
Yeah, get your GGs in chat. Definitely a fun race. If you guys have not seen this race from the beginning to end, I would definitely recommend you watch it.
Yeah, no, this was super great. I feel again a little bit bad for our runners because, you know, they couldn't get the boots.
Yeah. And then don't have them for long, you know? Like, yeah, I'm just gonna get these boots for a little bit and yeah, the season's over. Yeah, great. But that's the nature of this beast that we love so much, you know?
Yeah, this was a definitely very interesting Crosskeys seed for sure. And again, as you mentioned, right, this is basically a fire rod less seed. You don't often get to see that very often.
Yeah, absolutely. Definite. Oh, it was a key on Ped? Oh, gross.
You think it was a pod key?
I feel like it was either a pod key.
I think that's it, right?
Because I'm trying to think. What would you? It could be. I don't know logically if that could have been a Thieves Town Small, but.
Oh yeah, that's true. Looks like though we are joined by today's winner, Daze. GG's.
GG's, guys.
So how's it going? How are you feeling after that seed?
I want to go to bed. I'm really tired. I don't know. It went really well, honestly. I can't really have any complaints about that thing.
Oh, yeah, that's
everything. Like, it was kind of annoying.
Looks like though we are joined by
getting to GG
winner,
as late as I did,
GG's?
especially with it being just right next door. I don't think I got there till 90
so
minutes.
How's it going? How are you feeling after that seed?
Yeah. So not my greatest moment there. But by the time I was there, it kind of had whittled down that there really wasn't much left in the game for me to do. So, time to climb the stupid tower and go get go unlock your hook shot there. So fun, that part.
I mean, you could have just, why didn't you climb earlier? No, I'm just kidding. Yeah, the decision to climb, without the hook shot is always a very difficult one. And it just happens to be in this case that you had to, so.
Yeah, I guess there really wasn't a whole lot I could do about that there. I mean, like, Swamp, you needed the stuff to beat Swamp, so if you're gonna go in there, that was it. But, yeah, I mean, it was a little nerve-wracking there at the end, when you were trying to figure out exactly, okay, so where is swamp?
Hookshot is always a very difficult one.
Like, is it behind my boots? Is it behind my fire rod? Or is it behind my the Quake medallion? Because it's going to be behind one of those, because I've cleared everything else. I've cleared every other entrance in the game. So at that point, so when I found boots, it was just like, oh, okay, that's good enough for me. And so I ran out and found nothing. Kicked myself really bad for when I went back to that one front of Turtle Rock entrance, and I was just like, what are you doing? It's like, you're just hoping for it to be right here? And it's like, well, it could be behind boots, because it was like, in my head I was like, I'm gonna get all three of these, and then like as I'm in there, I'm going back to try to get the two on the right there, and it's like, how are you gonna do that without the fire rod, bud? And yeah.
Oh, that's what happened.
Yeah, that's what happened.
Looks like we are also joined by Teto. Teto, GG.
GG's.
Yeah. Hey, and GG's.
Hey, GG's, Teto. Oh man, that thing was always fun.
Yeah, I mean, I tried to stay in logic, and it last located so bad the hookshot chain in logic with the desert pedal small, and I don't know. It felt like doing the wrong decisions at the wrong time again. The typical Crosskeys experience. That's it.
Yeah, the early game, right? We found Teto, you started your house and you found flippers, right? At the very first chest. I don't know if you considered resetting at all, like once you found that.
Nah, I'm not that Crosskeys player. So at this point, I was like, oh, that's nice. I don't have to fake flipper. All right, let's do hula hand room. Oh, you're looking like a dumb player currently because you jumped back in the water, and be like, why isn't this resetting me? So yeah, it's like, okay, never mind. Nobody saw that, right?
Yes, absolutely nobody saw that. And I also don't know how bad either of you felt, when you found your myths, actually. Like, because, right, so early money was kind of an issue because, again, you couldn't hula hand very easily. And then, of course, you had to buy the glove off a bottle vendor. But then also the myths were also just in Saha, right? Entrance, which was also pretty easily accessible.
Yeah, I got there late, I think. I mean, just kind of, you get the mirror, and it's just kind of like, okay, well, let me play connector games. And so, I just wanted to clear out as much of it, much of the world as I could. And I eventually got over there. And then when I got the mitts, I was like, oh, in my head, what I was kind of going is, hey, that's good, because I was about to go down and check the big island. So now I can get both of them. I wasn't too worried about it just because, wasn't that much that it opened.
Yeah, it's like, oh, there are gloves, so this opens. Yeah, maybe convenient. Oh, ice pellets, and that's it. And later with the mids, it's like, so, oh yeah, it's easier to go back into the Maya area at all and not or through all those connectors. But I think it doesn't open up that much at this point anymore.
Yeah, I mean, like, you both played the seed, I would say, like, pretty well. Yeah, you mentioned, Teto, you sequence broke out a lot of stuff early. You got definitely a Master Sword advantage over Days for quite some time, along with, I think, Silvers. Because you didn't have the Moon Pearl when you basically followed every connector over to everywhere, including, like, Skull Woods and stuff.
Oh, it's like, just alone the Moon Pearl and Turtle Walk, it's like, in my early Crosskeys experience that I had, I'm going through the Turtle Walk connector from exactly, it's always the same spot towards the chain jump room, and it never pays off. It's like, so yeah, you're taking a long walk, there's nothing inside, you maybe can't kill the Pokey on the way for the key, or you don't have the key for the lava chest. And I just decided to, no, I don't enter this entrance anymore. I don't like it. And of course today there's the Moon Pearl.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was fun when I went through there. I'm like looking at my weaponry, and I'm like, okay, I got some arrows, I got some bombs, I got a hammer. All right, I can make this work.
Yeah. It's like, is it worth yes or no? That's always the question in Crosskeys. I'm not sure. I'm not that experienced player in this mode, to be honest.
I just ended up it kind of ended up kind of at the end of a route that I was doing, so I'm like, well, let's go and do it. I mean, it'll be fine. Like, it won't be anything. And then when that pearl dropped, I just, eyes got super big, and I was just like, oh crap, okay, game on.
Yeah, the combination Moon Pearl Mirror, it's always so strong. I mean, with the mirror, I was like, so yeah, this could work out somehow to go back through the dark world and try to mirror in those locations to open the chests. And it wasn't that bad, but it's always a double walk throughout the world, just with the world again.
Yeah, I think maybe like the kind of like the only like the other major difference, I guess due to kind of your early sequence breaking of Skull Woods, Teto, was you got the Hera basement the small key, and then you
play, by the way.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Oh no! I was gonna say, so like you had it before you went back to Hera, and so you got the Meyer big key out of Hera basement days, by the way. And so like we were wondering the whole time like if that big key was gonna get necessary because we didn't know when we were gonna go back to that place.
Oh.
I just found Hera the first time and was like, so yeah, just full clear. Don't think about it. Oh, there's a big key inside of it. Oh, that's nice. But yeah, sometimes it matters, sometimes it doesn't. Skywoods was so scary. I don't want to talk about the boss fight. It's like, so yeah, I could stack up one heart more. Oh wait, I'm now dropping in with 4 or 5 hearts, and I think every hammer hit counts. So that was to my advantage. Normally it doesn't. We know the boss fight.
Nicely done, by the way. Nicely done.
Yeah. So right, Days that things this puts you at 3-1. Good luck next week, wherever your opponent may be.
Now you get the strong opponents.
So it's not getting easier, is it? For the love of God, it's last week's Pika Pals. This week it's you. I mean, what was the next week? Am I getting Wally next week? What's going on here?
The entire field, by the way, is just super scary. I mean, even though, Teto, you're on 2-2 record, like, there are a lot of people that are also really scary with that record.
Still good in average, so that's fine.
Mm-hmm. Hopefully you'll get a nice and average opponent.
I think we got a lot of German player currently at 2-2 as well, so they were in the beginning of the seed, like, yeah, if you lose, there's a chance that we might play against each other, and so I'm excited for next week.
Oh, that's great. Speaking of speaking of German though, we've got Daruk and Nervendeutsch tracking for us. They did a phenomenal job today. I was really happy to be able to get both of them here on tracking. So thank you so much, guys. It was really appreciated.
Yes, thank you.
Any other thoughts, I guess, from you guys before we kind of like wrap things up?
Yeah, as you said before, thanks for the 2 guys in the background and as well as you for the commentary. And Days, GG's once again. It was a fun seed. And I think it's like I could have needed 5 or 6 more minutes. So for me, it's still a close one. I'm happy about that. And best of luck in the next games.
Yeah, same to you, Teto. Solid. I'm exhausted. I'm sorry. Just stumbling over my words right now. But yeah, thanks to everyone for putting this together. I am gonna go pass out for like 8 hours, so I'll see y'all later.
Have a good rest.
Yeah, take care, guys.
You earned it, buddy. Later.
Sounds like such a good idea. I think I'm going to do the same thing. All right. So, thank you, Days. Thank you, Teto. That was a great race to watch. Great show put on for you by you guys. Thank you very, very much. Magnets and Clear, thank you both for commenting. You guys are great. And for Nerve and Daruk for doing tracking and doing great as always with them too. So thank you to everyone who came out to watch. We're a little late on things going on today on ZSR. I think the only other thing that's on today is a Z2R match at like 11 p.m. Eastern time tonight. And anything else happening is on Tuesday. But that doesn't mean that that's going to be that way. So check back. You can always take a look at save the schedule. I mean, if something's got some people on it that we see, we may throw it up there to get it out there and have people watch it tonight. So if you look back, probably sometime between 5 and 8 Eastern, you may see some new things on there that weren't on there this morning. Yes. So I'm going to send you guys over to Pink Kitty Rose, who is doing a SMZ3 run at the moment. She's just kind of starting out, so I'll send you over her way. Thank you all again for coming out, and have a good rest of your day.